So in this new NBA full of parity, I believe it's going to cause a lot of teams to believe they are closer than they are, and some teams to actually feel like they are further away than they actually are. I mean, fans are always going to believe they're close. I think about Detroit this year, where they probably feel like they are one Tim Hardaway Jr. foul call or non-call away from being in the second round, and that might cause them to have a stronger belief. Not saying they shouldn't believe, but you guys get me, right? You have a little bit of success, you feel like your young guys are the best young guys. On the other hand, you have a team like New York this year who makes it all the way to the conference finals, to game 6 of the conference finals, and you have fans thinking, man, we're not close, we can't win with Cat, Brunson and Cat, it's too bad defensively, how are we gonna, people are having that panic mode, and in reality, I don't believe they are that far away. Now, a couple games ago, I did have that thought for a second, but watching Cat in game 4 and watching Cat and Brunson in game 5 made me say, you know what, you don't break this up. You add players to get the most out of them. You might have 2 top 10 scorers in the NBA right now, and maybe you don't think of Cat that way. I should remind you, this guy has multiple 60-point games. But if you've been watching the Knicks this whole playoff run, you probably noticed they do a lot of their damage independent of the other one, right? There's not a lot of Cat Brunson 2-man game. And I would like to see more of that, but that can work when you have more actual playmaking around them. And that's what they don't have. Their other playmaker on this team is Josh Hart. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby aren't playmakers. When you look at this roster, tell me how many players are above average passers for their position. To me, it's only Josh Hart and maybe Cat. So you have these 2 elite weapons on offense capable of going for 50, but no one on your team can really get the ball to them. Now, ideally, I'm talking about another true playmaker, but not even a playmaker. They don't even have connectors, right? They don't have a Kyle Anderson. They don't have a Nick Batum. And these players don't sound like all that because they're not. But these are the players that get the ball from Brunson to Cat, or from Cat to Brunson. They don't have that besides Josh Hart. And speaking of playmakers, even on defense, right? Mikal and OG are very good defenders, OG being better, of course, but they aren't playmakers, right? They just play great straight up defense. And of course they make plays, right? Of course OG gets some steals and some blocks, same thing with Mikal, but you get what I'm saying, at least I hope you do, that there are defenders where they are everywhere on the court. They're flying around, causing chaos, getting extra possessions, meeting people at the rim. That's not really OG or Mikal. And when you have Brunson and Cat, yes, having really good defenders is important, but it's also important to get players that can make up those plays, right? When Brunson gets beat, someone that's going to fly across the court and get a block, that's not really OG. That's not really Mikal. So even on defense, I believe they need a more playmaking. So when I take a step back and look at this team, I am looking at Mikal Bridges and Deuce McBride as players you might be able to move and get some value for. Now, Mikal, you just gave up 5 picks for, so I'm not sure what you feel comfortable trading him for. But when you look at it, he's going to be a free agent after next year, going to be probably demanding $35 million a year, something like that. And if you're New York, you're already paying Cat, you're already paying Brunson, you're already paying OG. Are you really going to pay Mikal Bridges over $35 million a year? And if you aren't, wouldn't it be smart to move him now? So I know it's quick. I know they just got eliminated, but I've been thinking about this for a while because I've noticed the Mikal Bridges contract situation coming up very, very soon. So a couple deals I would think about if I was New York. The first deal I thought about was Mikal Bridges for Herb Jones and Kelly Olynyk. Now, Herb Jones to me is a much better defender than Mikal Bridges. Herb Jones is also a playmaker on defense. Herb Jones is also a decent passer. I'm a big Herb Jones fan. If you guys want to go on my channel and look up a video about Herb Jones' Euro step, Herb Jones is a great finisher as well, something Mikal Bridges shies away from every time Herb Jones gets to the rim. So I think Herb Jones, would he be as good as Mikal offensively? No. But I think he would be an upgrade defensively, and I also believe he would be more of a connector than Mikal Bridges. He would be someone that gets the ball from Brunson to Cat. And Kelly Olynyk might just be washed, but if you were to add him, that would be more passing on your team. And also, Mitchell Robinson's probably going to get hurt at some point, so adding more backup center depth wouldn't really hurt. And y'all see the deal I have on the screen here. It's off by about $2 million, so that could be done easily by making other roster moves. So I like that. Why would New Orleans do it? Well, Who knows what's going on with Zion right now? DeJounte Murray's going to be injured next year. They're probably going to move on from CJ McCollum. And you have an opportunity to pay Mikal Bridges a decent amount and keep him and rebuild his trade value again. And it's just, why not if you're New Orleans, right? Why not get an asset? He's not going to take away from Trey Murphy. He's not going to take away from whoever you draft. He's not going to take away from Yves Missy. So why not? Another deal I would think about, Knicks fans are probably going to call me crazy for this, but Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski for Mikal Bridges and Deuce McBride. Now, Podziemski, not the individual defender of Mikal, but Podziemski is a playmaker on defense. He gets steals. He was first in the NBA in charges his rookie year, was third this year. That creates extra possessions. He gets rebounds better than Mikal, and he could be your backup point guard, but he can also play alongside Brunson more than someone like Deuce could because Podziemski is 6'5", and I believe there's real upside there. In the case of Moses Moody, very good 3-and-D player. And he could give you 80% of what Mikal gives you for a lot less money in theory, right? If you're talking it out, if you're trying to believe that as a Knicks fan. So I would love that deal for them. For the Warriors, they need that third scorer. Mikal could fill that role perfectly, putting him next to Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. And you get Deuce McBride to help replace some of that playmaking you lost with Pods. I like this deal for both teams. Those are the only two deals I've really thought about. I've thought about some bigger deals where you include Mikal and Josh Hart and try to go get a superstar. But we'll leave that for this summer when things get crazy. We can talk about that then. But I came away from this playoff run extremely impressed with Brunson and Cat, even though they struggled in this last game. But it's clear to me they need other players to make the game easier for them. And as good as Mikal and OG are, they don't really do that. And again, the reason why I am focusing on Mikal is because he's going to be up for an extension after next year. You're already paying OG near max money, Cat max money, Brunson max money. Somebody kind of has to go. And in this hypothetical with the Warriors, well, either one of these deals, but with the Warriors, you're getting Pods on a rookie deal. You're getting Moody on a very, very team-friendly deal. I think that's a great move for New York, but I know Knicks fans are probably not going to like that one at all. If there are some other deals you thought about, let me know in the comments down below. But I just wouldn't be... Of course, New York is not breaking up Cat and Brunson, but I say that when they just gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal, so they probably wouldn't be breaking up Mikal either. Maybe then OG's traded, and that's a whole bigger salary slot, and that's a whole different group of names you could talk about. But I think what makes the most sense is trading Mikal. Now, you kind of worry about OG staying healthy. Like, if you have to pick between one of them, you might want to pick the guy that always stays healthy and Mikal, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.